Hey, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Sometimes I live stream, sometimes I rank various Big Brother concepts, sometimes I make rivalry videos, sometimes I'm covering the current season of Big Brother. I'm all over the place, but today I figured we'd do a tier list going over all of the villains of Big Brother and give you my opinions on each of them. Before we get into that though, make sure you drop a like on this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my various Big Brother content. I'm almost at 15,000 subscribers, so if you would help me hit that goal by subscribing, I'd be appreciative. You could also follow my Instagram, add my Snapchat, linked in the description. And let me just throw out a few disclaimers or criteria about the tier list, and then we'll get into ranking everybody. So there's no limitation in how I gathered these people. Some seasons I didn't pick anybody from, some seasons have multiple villains that I chose. I'm very well versed in Big Brother knowledge and the fandom's consensus on people as a whole, so I feel I'm pretty educated enough to pick and choose who I vouch to be the biggest villains of the show. There are some people though that I would consider to be villainous or to be bad people in general that I don't think many people would agree with or think to. They're not as popular house guests. Think of a Nicole Scaffridge from season 2, a Nick Macarone from season 21, and Yvette Cordero from season 6. Those people I think are definitely villains, but most fans wouldn't consider them to be villains, so I picked the more relevant people to include in this list. This is also based on them as characters as a show and is a pretty subjective list based on my feelings on them. It's not about gameplay, except for a couple of them we do talk about actual game, but for the most part, it's just my personal feelings. And I know there's going to be some people like, why did you include this person? I love them, they're not a villain. Or why didn't you include this person? They're definitely a villain. And my response to that is, I don't care, make your own list, make your own video, and with all that out of the way, let's get to ranking these people. Okay, so now that we're in our tier list, we have to go over the categories first. The highest place you can be on here is the Big Brother Boy Approved category. These are the villains that I think are the best of the best, great entertainment. I like rooting for them, I like them on their season. I do want to know, I did a ranking every player video, and if I put somebody in this video in the Big Brother Boy Approved category and you watch that video and they're not in the Big Brother Boy Approved category there, don't worry about it. That just means like the variance for this type of video, some are better than others, so I'm gonna have to put somebody in a top tier. Fun villain, it's what it means. They were fun on their season, I like watching them. I thought they caused chaos in a good way. The meh tier, they're middle of the road. I didn't really care for them either way. I was just sort of neutral and different on them. The wish you were never cast tier, I think that one's pretty self-explanatory. And then the worst tier you can be is the Aaron Grease category. These are just the worst of the worst, problematic, controversial, hated them, hated to hate them, hated to watch them, just garbage people all around. So starting off, we have Will Kirby, and I'm going to put him in the fun villain category. The more and more I rewatch him on Big Brother 2, the more I respect and appreciate him as a character on the show. I think he knows his role. He is a villain, but he's a lovable villain. That's the whole gimmick and shtick with him. So I feel like that's a good place for him. He's not in Big Brother Boy Approved category because he does get on my nerves a lot. I think the discourse around Will also kind of pisses me off. So not like the biggest fan, but I do appreciate him, and he's definitely not meh. So fun villain's where he's going. So Mike Boogie as a person should be in the bottom tier for stalking and threatening Will and his children and family. That's horrible. However, on Big Brother, he was pretty good. It kind of like Will, the more I rewatch, the more I appreciate him. I definitely don't like him. He's one of my least favorite house guests ever. But in terms of his villainy and being a opposition to just everyone on his seasons, I do kind of like him in that regard. He caused a lot of chaos. He was kind of an asshole, got into fights, so that I can appreciate. So I'm going to put him in fun villain, but I really just don't like him. Maybe I should put him in meh now, because he's definitely not meh. Anyway. Allison Irwin, come on, Big Brother Boy Approved, one of my favorite house guests ever. She was fun. She used and abused all of the men on her season, and then on All Stars was evicted first, but she still caused a lot of drama in her short, brief stint on the show. I think she's great. She's an entertaining house guest. She's kind of like a fun villain, but she's better than a fun villain in my eyes. I just love Allison Irwin. She's a pretty decent game player too, aside from how abrasive she is. I think her social game's lacking, but I don't know. I like her a lot. Jace Wiry, I'll put up Fun Villain 2 just because on Season 5 and All Stars he did cause a lot of fights and got into a lot of screaming matches with people screaming about, so that made for good TV. He definitely is not a meh tier. He's kind of problematic, to be honest, but the entertainment factor is there, so I feel comfortable putting him in Fun Villain. Eric Littman, another one. I think I'll put him at the top of Fun Villain. Am an Eric stan, kind of. He's definitely not one of my favorite house guests, but I always vouch for him when people say he was awful, he was horrible. Absolutely he was, and he was very irritating, obnoxious, cocky, arrogant, ran a cult in the house, but he was entertaining while he did it. He was just so pompous and full of himself. It entertained me. I thought it was fun to make fun of him. He is an easy target for me to talk shit about, so for those reasons, I'm putting him in Fun Villain. Next, we have Richard Donato. I swear I'm not doing this on purpose. I'm just going to go chronologically, and I'm going to put him in Fun Villain. Again, I hate him as a person. I think he's vile and disgusting, and not even in terms of being problematic. I just think he acts like a toddler on Twitter and interviews, and it's like you're probably 70s at this point and you're acting like you're 4 years old. I just don't like him in that regard, but on the show, he was fucking amazing, calling everybody out, getting in fights with people. I do want to say though, he always talks about that as being strategy, like it was my strategic move to argue with the house guests and call them out to save me and my daughter, and it's like that's great self-preservation. That's not all what happened. Like, that in no way benefited him strategically. Like, that's his way of defending himself against the America player allegations of that being rigged for him. Or I guess it's not allegations because that's literally what happened. But nonetheless, I enjoyed the fights he got into with Jen, Jamaica, Amber. They were entertaining as fuck. So definitely a fun villain. So we have Josh Welch, I think is his name, from Big Brother 9. I'm going to put him in Wish You Were Never Cast, debating putting him in the Aaron Grease category. He had that notorious fight with Amanda in the backyard where he made the comment about her dad. And aside from that, there's just a lot of live feed clips of him on YouTube just saying really nasty things about the women in the house. I think apart from that too, I just really don't like his personality. I really hated him, and he's the epitome of what I think a villain is. Like, you don't want to root for him. You don't have fun watching him, even in his villainy. So congrats on being the first in this category. I wish I wasn't even having to talk about you because I wish you were never cast. Jesse Goddard's also, I think he's better than Josh, and I know a lot of people love and appreciate Jesse for the entertainment he brought, and like, I can appreciate him being the antagonist to Libra's protagonist and Keisha's protagonist in season 10. However, I just don't know what it is about him. It just doesn't click with me, the in quotes entertainment he brings. I don't enjoy watching it. Every time I see him, I just kind of want to smack him. So it's not fun for me, not entertaining. He's definitely not mad. Like, I'm pretty passionate about not liking him. So Jesse, wish you were never cast. Okay, we're on April Dowling from season 10, and I know a lot of people despise her. She's pretty popular for having sex with Ollie in the HOH room on the live feeds. That clip has gone viral a million times outside of the Big Brother community as well as inside of it. But fans hate her just because of her treatment of Libra and Keisha. They were in an alliance together. She was pretty nasty to them. I'm not gonna lie, she was pretty much in the wrong and switched over to the Michelle side of the house. But I will say, and what fans need to realize in this community, which is something I always vouch for when people talk about being like Team Netta or Ica and just rivalries like that, Keisha and Libra would not be as great of characters without an amazing opposition, and April was that opposition. I think she brought out the good fights in them, and without her, yes, they fought with other people besides April, but I think she was a good sort of antagonist for them. So for that, I every time I rewatch Big Brother 10, like, I like April more and more. Is she a nasty person? Yeah, she's a villain. That's why she's on the list, but I like her, so Big Brother boy approved. So we have Jeff Schroeder here from Big Brother 11 and 13. I know he won America's Favorite House Guest both times. However, and I know a lot of people love him, but there are a significant amount of people who don't like him and do consider him a villain, so I thought it would be appropriate to include him. There's a couple of other people like that, like Cameron. I don't know if you can see another one later on that I don't know if you guys have seen yet because it's not showing all the pictures, but we'll get to them. So Jeff, I'm going to put him in meh, not just because I think he's a meh character, but because I'm very 50-50 on him, so I feel like you do that, you put the person in the middle if you're 50-50 with them. Because I get why people think he's a villain. He's a very problematic person, and a lot of his controversies were edited out of the show. A lot of homophobia specifically, which I didn't love. But I think it came from a place of ignorance, to be completely honest, and he's spoken on it. He's apologized for it. Something I do like about him that doesn't really have to do with Big Brother is he spoke out a lot about the Balenciaga and child sex trafficking allegations against them, and he called out the celebrities that weren't denouncing Balenciaga and that whole ordeal, if you guys remember that. So I like that a lot, and he gained a lot of respect from me for that whole ordeal. And on Big Brother, before, like, I was a fan of Jeff before I knew of his controversies, and I did enjoy watching him on the show, and it wasn't until I kind of learned about his comments that I started to dislike him. So it's like, he's this high because of the Balenciaga thing. Like, he called them out on national TV. He's like a talk show host. He's this high for that reason, but also because me, before I knew about his controversies, liked him a lot, and he honestly probably would be Big Brother Boy approved, but all of his controversial comments is why I'm going to put him in the Met category. Russell Cruz, Big Brother 11, one of those house guests that fought with literally the entire house, super entertaining, love him to death. He's one of the very few male house guests that I actually love. He's Big Brother Boy approved, absolutely, and I'm going to put him at the top of Big Brother Boy approved. I don't know if he can be topped. I could top him, but I just think he's really great. I think he's really fun, entertaining, super hot-headed, and I get why a lot of fans hate him, but you can never bring me to hate Russell Cruz. He's amazing television. He's somebody I wish would have gotten brought back. Will he ever? I doubt it. I think it's just too late. His season happened too long ago, but if they were smart, they would bring him back. Okay, I lied. There is somebody that can top Russell Cruz. Two people who can top Russell Cruz. Big Brother Boy, but also Rachel Riley. Just amazing. Probably the most perfect reality TV contestant ever. She was born to be on reality TV. Her aura, the essence about her personality, super entertaining, super just, I don't even know the right adjectives, to be honest with you. Just super awesome, emotional, volatile, but in such a fun way. Again, fought with everybody, had many breakdowns, but she was a rootable underdog at some points, even though she was only an underdog because she put herself into the bad positions repetitively. She's somebody I would want on every season of Big Brother. I would never get tired of seeing her play again. If she steamrolled every season, I would love it. Never root against her. I love Rachel Riley. I know a lot of people hate her. That's why she's here. I don't. Never will. Never did. Never will. So we have Matt Hoffman, and I'm debating putting him in Big Brother Boy approved at the bottom or the top of Fun Villain. I'm going to put him in the top of Fun Villain just because he pissed me off in his final week in the house. I loved everything he did. I loved the lie about his wife. I loved when he would fight with Rachel and everybody in the jury house when they found out about his lie. I liked him calling Brendan a big dummy on season 12. I love Brendan and Rachel, but that was just a good moment. I hate, though, his game moves. I don't know why he used the Diamond Power veto to get Kathy out. I don't know why, when he realized his own alliance, the Brigade, turned on him, why he didn't try to leverage that and turn everybody on the Brigade and expose them to the rest of the house and try to gain people like Brittany, Reagan, even Brendan in his favor and be like, listen, they're running the game. They turned on me. We have to get them out. I don't know why he didn't try that. So his gameplay is honestly why he's lower here, which this isn't a list based on gameplay, but for him, it definitely factors in. Willie Hands, I love Willie Hands. He is the worst person, but it's just so funny with him watching him freak out on his own allies, Frank, Boogie, his fight with Chef Joe, where he, in quotes, headbutted him, which, by the way, not a headbutt. It was literally like a shoulder swipe, but Joe, being dramatic, Joe grabbed his lips. So everybody's like, he headbutted him. No, it was like he got swiped with the shoulder. He was fine. It was so dramatic, and I feel like blown out of proportion. I wish he was never expelled, because he would have just continued to be the worst person, but in such a fun way. I like that it looked like they were about to kiss in the bathroom, too, like before he shoulder swiped him. I thought that was hysterical. He's just like a really bad person, not necessarily controversial or problematic, I should say, definitely controversial, but I love Willie Hands. I wish he wasn't expelled. I'm putting him in the bottom of Big Brother Boy approved. I don't care. People are going to say I'm just trying to be edgy. I'm not. He's fun. I like Willie a lot. Ooh, somebody I don't like, Frank Udy. So I watched Big Brother 14 hating him, thinking everybody hated him, and then I saw a lot of fans online, a lot of people in comments on like podcasts and interviews loving Frank. Everybody's like, he was such an underdog, and I was like, did I watch the same season as them? I've seen Big Brother 14 like 13 times, and every single time I dislike Frank. Like I never like him, and it's just for me hard to say he's an underdog because he does a lot of it to himself, which so did Rachel, and I just said I loved her, so I'm being a little bit of a hypocrite here, but with Frank, it's just like, I don't know. There's just something about him I don't like. I also don't like on 18, his whole scandal with Devon, hitting her on her ass and then getting away with it. Literally sexually harassed Devon and he wasn't expelled. Like, I want to do a whole video on CBS's most problematic things that they've done. I don't know how I would title that or how I would word that, but that would definitely be in there. Like all of the controversies that they've hit up with editing and stuff that they've allowed, but that really bugged me with Frank, him calling out Nicole in season 18. I also didn't like. I just, you know what, honestly, do I put him in Aaron Grease category? I don't know. I don't know if he's as bad as the Aaron Grease tier, but he's interchangeable with this tier and the next. Ooh, speak of the devil, Aaron Grease, this is a category for her. It was literally made for her, or named after her. I don't know why she wouldn't be in here. I don't think I need to explain why she's in this category. She's a problematic house guest, super racist, super homophobic, super problematic. A lot of her castmates were, however, I think she was the one that took the hit or the brunt of everything. And CBS just kind of showed everything she said and did, which is good because she did and said a lot of horrible things, but a lot of her other house guests like Spencer, Jeremy, even Nick, Amanda all said horrible shit too that never got aired. So she was kind of scapegoat into there. That's why I don't have them included, just because she's the more popular villain. And aside from that, she was just a nasty person to her other house guests, just a mean girl in general. So Aaron, bottom tier in the Aaron Grease category. Why did that just get highlighted or underlined? I don't fucking know. Amanda Zuckerman has to go in the Aaron Grease category. Same thing as Aaron. Super problematic comments, racist comments, homophobic comments. I don't even want to say, like, just other comments about other people that were super bad that she was saying on the live feeds, joking about. Again, just mean girl in general. She talked about Alyssa's kids all the time and her husband, and just said like really disgusting things about everybody. So Amanda, it's just like these people up here are fun villains. Like they're hot-headed, they're fun to hate, and then these ones are just like problematic and not fun. Devin Shepard, I'm gonna put him in fun villain. I'll put him in between Will and Eric here. Season 16, my first ever season I watched, unfortunately, which is, I don't have any nostalgia towards. I fucking hated season 16. It's one of my least favorite seasons ever. But Devin is definitely a fond memory I have of when I first found it, going back, seeing all of his mess, attacking his allies, calling everybody out, playing very impulsively, sporadically with his moves. I was very entertained by him. He made for great TV, so definitely deserves to be in the fun villain tier. Christine Brecht, I love Christine. She's one of my favorite house guests ever, outside of the whole villain shtick, if you will. I don't think she deserved the hate that she got whatsoever. She got loud boos, louder than Aaron, louder than Amanda, which is crazy to me. I don't like that CBS painted her as having that thing with Cody, is like her cheating on her husband and talking with her husband back home and airing it, making her look bad. Say what you want, but my whole philosophy on those situations is it's not really our business. What's going on between those two people, like at least when it comes to Christine and her ex-husband, that should have been their dirty laundry to talk about after the show. I don't like that CBS did that, but they love themselves a scandal, so what are you gonna do, I guess? But I also like her personally. I love her outside of the show. She's made a lot of videos talking about her experience with reality TV, the casting process, the fans' reaction to her, and I just have a lot of respect for her, and I do empathize with her because I think a lot of the hate she got was not warranted whatsoever. Austin Madelson, I'm going to put him in the meh tier. Again, I think, like a Christine, he's overhated. He had his whole scandal with cheating on his girlfriend in the house. I think a lot of people don't like him just because he was annoying and irritating to watch, which I get, and that's kind of why I'm putting him in the meh category. He didn't supply me with any great TV. His Blind Side was very entertaining, but that was more Vanessa's doing than anything. I just didn't really get a lot from Austin, to be honest. I like him as a person in general, like I definitely don't dislike him, and I think he is a person I would like to see get brought back. So I think he played an interesting game, was definitely an interesting character and an interesting dynamic with the whole Oz twin situation. But I just don't think he's a necessarily fun villain. Definitely not Big Brother Boy approved, but I don't think he's problematic. Don't think I wish he was never cast. So meh is the only other option. Vanessa Russo, love Vanessa Russo. I'll put her like here in front of Christine or behind. I guess in front of Christine. She ran season 17. That's kind of why she's a villain. When people steamroll, even like a Dan and Will on their seasons, people hate just because they're backstabbing, lying to everybody. What I will say about Vanessa is I think she would be more rootable if she would have owned her villainy, said, I'm lying to these people, I'm slitting their throats, but she didn't. She just kind of cried and played victim the whole season, which was definitely obnoxious. However, I give her a pass because she was amazing on season 17. Perfect casting. She was entertaining, started so much drama, fought with like everybody pretty much, and she ran the game. She literally controlled almost every single eviction, kind of like a Raven Walton from season 19. You know how she was the puppet master, and she knew every eviction, even her own, as she says. That's kind of like Vanessa in season 17. So love Vanessa. She was great. And I can't wait to see her play again. She's somebody that it's like, you know, she's going to play again. She's had opportunities to come back and hasn't, but she has to at some point, at least in some capacity. I'm surprised she hasn't done any competition hosting or any cameos in episodes, but she has to come back. Like, fans adore her now. She's aged very well with time. People have come to respect and appreciate her more. So need you back, Vanessa. I know you have like a million children, but your ass needs to put the children in a daycare and an adoption facility or something, and you need to get your fucking ass back on Big Brother because I want to watch you again on my TV. Okay, I'm super surprised because I thought most of these villains I was going to put in like these bottom tiers, but the majority of them are taking up fun villain, which I guess is a good thing. I guess I like the villains in Big Brother, shocker. But Pauly Calafiore, I love Pauly. I'm going to put him like right here, I think. On the season, I despised him. I don't like how he handled a lot of the situations with Bridget, with Devon. I think he was way out of line a lot of times, but I think now he's made amends with them, and I don't necessarily... I'll put him in fun villain, actually. It's hard. Because I put him in Big Brother Boy Approved because I like him outside of Big Brother a lot. Like, I've seen clips of him on The Challenge. I've listened to him in podcasts, interviews on Snapchat. Like, I really do like Pauly a lot, but on the show I didn't really. So I don't think Big Brother Boy Approved is there. So I'll put him in, like, fun villain, I think. Like, right behind Devin. I can appreciate that he started a lot of drama, and I think it's more reflecting on how modern seasons lack fights. The more and more we get seasons like 23 and 24 and 25 with barely any arguments, it's like, oh shit, he actually is somebody who shook the table in 18 and wasn't afraid of confrontation. So for that reason, I respect him more. And the more I reflect on 18, like, I love his fight with Devon. I think his comments were definitely not okay, but I don't know. I just appreciate him, and I think it was a fun villain. Okay, we have Paul Abrahamian here, and let me just say this. Absolutely love Paul on Twitter. Another one, love in media after the show. But on season 18, I despised Paul. And don't you bitches in the comments be like, so did I. No, you didn't. Every single person loved Paul. And then when he was announced for 19, everybody was excited, except me. Because I was like, I could not stand him on season 18. And then 19 rolled around, and then everybody started hating him. And I was like, you see? What would happen if anybody in this world would ever listen to Big Brother Boy? It would be a utopia. It would be a much better place, and it's just evident by Paul. If people would have listened to me about him saying he was obnoxious and not good on 18 and not brought him back on 19, 19 wouldn't have been ruined. So Paul, I'm going to put him definitely at the top because I like him as a person, but wish he was never cast. I do not enjoy watching him on Big Brother, but as a person, I adore him. Nicole Franzel, now my best friend in the entire world, like number one ever. His name's Brendan. He is the biggest Nicole Franzel fan. He literally only watches Big Brother when she's on, like, season 16, 18, 22. He's seen other seasons, but, like, in modern Big Brother, he only watches when she's involved. And he loves her, and he makes me like her, even though I don't necessarily, or I definitely don't like her. I don't enjoy watching her whatsoever. I respect her as a game player. I think she's a phenomenal game player. I love that she's earned herself the title of one of the most dominant, if not the most dominant female player we've ever had. First two-time winner, I count it. Reindeer Games is an iteration of Big Brother, so I count her first two-time winner. But I just can't get over her victimization of herself, her crying too. Like, it's just like, Vanessa, please just own your shit. I can't do it. I definitely don't wish she was never cast, because I, like, can respect what she brought. But I'm gonna put her at the middle of the meh tier. Brendan, don't kill me. I apologize, but I can't do any higher. I have to be real. So Cody Nixon, another one America's favorite house guest, but there's so many people that hate him because of his transphobic comments on the feeds and stuff he says post-season on Instagram, which I agree with. And I think when the season aired on 19, I did like Cody a lot just because he was the opposition to all of Paul's minions and Paul himself. But whenever I rewatch clips of 19, I'm like, he really wasn't that great, to be honest. It was more Jessica that was entertaining. He literally didn't talk. He would just walk away from people, stare at them, which made for, like, funny 5-second clips. But as a character, I'm like, we really handed this man America's favorite house guest. Like, that just speaks volumes to how shitty the season 19 cast was. I'm probably going to put him, like, wish you were never cast, because at least he didn't, like, what's the word? He wasn't Paul's bitch like everybody else, but, like, I definitely would never want to see him on Big Brother again, and I would have been fine not seeing him on 19, so definitely going to put him in Wish You Were Never Cast. Christmas Abbott is going in the Aaron Grease tier. I don't like Christmas whatsoever. I hated her on 19, hated her on 22. I don't know if anybody really likes Christmas, to be honest with you. Even the casuals, I don't think are a big Christmas fan. She's a felon. Literally rammed her car into another woman's car, or her baby daddy's mistress's car, when she was 8 months pregnant. If you don't know about that, you can go to my channel, go to my playlist, go to random Big Brother videos, go to the From the BB House to the Jailhouse video, and you'll see all of the Christmas story and why she was arrested. I just think she was one of Paul's minions, like everybody else in the season 19 cast. And then on 22, the same thing. Like, she just became friends with Memphis, did what Tyler said, did what Memphis said. Can't ever think for herself. She's obnoxious to watch. I don't think she has a fun personality. She's a villain, and just not a fun one. Just like a nasty one that I just don't enjoy. Josh Martinez, I want to put in the Aaron Grease category just because it's the lowest one, but he's definitely not as bad as these three in terms of being problematic or controversies, but definitely going to put him at the bottom of Wish You Were Never Cast. I'm not a Josh fan, and I think a lot of people have come to appreciate him and say he started a lot of fights, he's entertaining. I wasn't entertained by it. Yeah, he was screaming at people, but I just wanted to turn the feeds off, and did turn the feeds off every time I saw him banging the pots and pans, calling people meatballs. His only good moment is when he would attack Jessica and Cody nonstop, and then Jessica would call him a fat ass, and then he'd freak out and act like it was the end of the world. Like, you attack these people relentlessly, and then you get thrown one comment being called a fat, and he wasn't even fat. Like, that's the thing. They literally just said it because they knew it would tick him off, and they knew how to make him, like, what's the word? They knew how to set him off with that, and it's like, relax, Josh. It's not that big of a deal. He would do that all the time, attack people and then cry. He also pitches himself as being this businessman, this super great strategist, a super smart person. Not even close, not even a little bit. And people say, he had good goodbye messages. Like, okay, he did the bare minimum. Let's everybody give it up for Josh. He had good goodbye messages. That's me clapping. Like, congratulations, you fucking asshole. You should never have been on the cast. I hate Josh. Definitely not as much as I hate these three, but, like, he's close. He's really close. Which, so, okay, I have to throw this in or I'm gonna get hate. Like, again, he's another person. I enjoy his presence on Twitter. I enjoy his takes on the game. But these, I'm judging them as characters on a TV show. So, oh well. Okay, we can put these two cunts just together. We'll put Jack between Aaron and Christmas. And then Jackson, my least favorite house guest ever. Like, these two are, like, what's the word? Just like motherfuckers. I don't know how to say it. Just nasty people. They were just mean-spirited. They were awful to their house guests, both problematic. Jackson abusive to Holly on the show, after the show she's talked about it, both racist, both very derogatory, discriminatory. I think it was Jack who would call Jessica Consuela. They both treated Ovi and Kemi horribly, both excluded the Nicole thing. They just had a lot of controversy on the show. And there's been a lot of people that said they're not as bad as people make them out to be. Yes, they were. Like, they're horrible. And I just fucking hate them. I just don't get how Big Brother did not give them any repercussions for their behavior. Even back then, before they implemented all of these policies and stuff about no hate speech and no comments like that. Like, they did so much fuck shit that people complained about, and they just let them do it. It's like, this is your show. Have a fucking nutsack, CBS. Big Brother producers, don't be pussies like you always are, and do something about it. I just hate Jackson and Jack. Like, they ruined my summer in 21. I hated watching them. Even Jackson's fight with Tommy, it's like, yeah, they're fighting, but I don't really care because I just don't like watching him talk. He's just a spoiled man child, in my opinion. I just hate these two. Like, there's not a single person I hate more than those two. So Danny Briones is only a villain on season 22. 8 and 13, she was a rootable figure, but 22, she gets talk about being a villain. People don't like how she played, how she was with the committee, all this and that. However, I'm a Danny Briones fan, always will be. One of my favorite house guests ever. I believe I ranked her third overall in my favorite house guest video, where I ranked literally every house guest. So I don't care if she's a rootable underdog, if she's steamrolling, if she's a villain, don't give a fuck. Danielle Briones will always be at the top of my tier list. So I love you, Danny Briones. You could do no wrong besides wearing this atrocious hat in your Big Brother 22 casting photo. But big fan of hers. Love her. I don't care if she's a villain or not. She's great TV always. Daniel Durston, I really hate Daniel Durston. I'm going to put him in between Christmas and Jack. Just treated Taylor horribly. I love Taylor, so that's not going to give you any sort of favor with me, Big Brother boy. And he's just irritating on Twitter. He tries to make himself be this villain and tweets about himself being a villain all the time. Like, it's his gimmick, and that's why I don't even want to talk about him or give him attention, but he is the essential villain from season 24, and that's why he's on here. I just hate him. He's somebody that, like, you see his face, and whenever he talks, you just want to get into a cyber truck and run him over. Like, I can't do it with him. He's just obnoxious the way he talks and speaks and acts, and it's just like, ugh. And like, the worst part is he loves it. He thinks it's his thing. Like, I'm a villain, and it's like, you're not a fun one, though. Like, you're just not a good person, and you're irritating as all fucking hell. So Kyle Capner's a tricky one. Definitely wish he was never cast. Okay, my laptop died. Kyle Capner is tricky just because I always say this when I talk about him. He's been synonymous with my channel when Big Brother 24 airs. Everybody's like, you hate him for no reason. And he does have his own cult following of people who love and support him and empathize with him because of how the show edited him, even though a lot of it he did, most of it he did. I don't think he should have got as sympathetic of an edit as he did. He's apologized though, and I think he has proven, at least post-season, that he's trying to better himself. He's not somebody like an Aaron or an Amanda or Christmas or a Daniel, who apologized to save face and then went on to completely be problematic and monsters after the show as well. Kyle, at least, he went back to his real life, does his TikTok shit, stays to himself. He's not openly being an asshole. However, I definitely don't like him. I don't like the shit he did on the show. Definitely wish he was never cast because it was annoying having to talk about and watch on the show. I just don't think he's as bad as the people down here. I think he is somebody who at least tried to change, and he did listen when he was, well, actually, I was going to say he listened when people told him he was wrong, but he kind of pushed back at first, and it wasn't until it blew up and became a storyline on the show where he was actually listening. But I liked his conversations in the jury house. He actually gave apologies post-show, which I felt were like somewhat genuine. So at least he doesn't have the pride to completely disregard the just discourse surrounding him and say, you guys are wrong, like, I'm not this person. Like, he at least listened and didn't try to argue with it. So whatever. Like, he's definitely not my favorite person, but moving on. So Jared and Cameron, I'm going to rank together here, and I'm going to put them in the meh category. I think last summer people hated them. Cameron won America's Favorite House Guest though, but a lot of people still just don't like him. They both together, I kind of view them the same way. They both did and said a lot of stuff on the live feeds I don't agree with. However, fans act like they both are satanic and horrible and awful, and people said that they're like the biggest villains the show's ever had, and it's like, we had Amanda, we had Daniel, we had Jackson, we had Aaron, we had Christmas, and you guys are acting like these are the worst people you were, like, ever seen. And I do appreciate that they brought, aside from their controversies, they did play the game and played it hard. They both made big moves. They both weren't afraid to get into fights, which I enjoyed. But I don't know. Like, it's hard with the Wish You Were Never cast because they both made moves that I think helped the season in terms of the entertainment. So I don't want to say Wish They Were Never cast. I'm definitely not a fan whatsoever. But I just don't agree with how the fans act like they're the worst people we've ever seen on the show, because they're really not. Like, there's so many people that were worse than them. But that's my tier list for you. Let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know your tiers, which ones you agree with, disagree with, and I'm gonna go film an outro for this. Okay, that's my list for you guys. I don't think we need a super complex outro, so I'm just gonna say thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, found it funny, entertaining, drop a like on it. Make sure to subscribe to my channel so you can help me hit 15,000 subscribers. You can follow my Instagram, add my Snapchat, linked in the description. If you liked this video and want to see more, let me know things you guys want me to rank in the comments, or anything you want me to make a tier list of. Give me ideas. I want to hear them. I'm gonna go.